I'm live. Let's do it. In this, I'm going to show you how to automate data entry and bookkeeping really quick. I'm trying to figure out how to go live everywhere. Got to click Instagram. Should be good to go. All right, let's get right into it. So in this video, in this live, I'm going to show you how to basically automate things using AI. So data entry accounts for $1 trillion a year in spend for companies. And so because of that, I'm going to basically show you in, 15 to 60 minutes, how to automate data entry in your company. And I'm literally going to show you the solution A to Z using AI, how to do it step by step all the way. Now, we're going to show you one way to automate it. And once you learn that, you should be able to apply that knowledge to basically automate any type of data entry you have, so that 100% of all the data entry that you do in your company is instantaneous and automatic. Today, specifically, we're going to be looking at automating data entry of paper documents. Now, another day in the future, I'll talk about automating with audio. And then in the future after that, I'll do another video on automating with, say, email, for example, or digital documents. But for today, if you've got a company where you've got a lot of paper documents that got to get put in consistently by you or someone else in your company, this video is for you. It's going to show you how to basically make it so all you have to do is just go click, take a picture, and boom, it will instantaneously upload to wherever you need it to within your CRMs and systems and whatnot in your company, so that you don't have to do it step by step manually anymore. So, and this works for small documents, long documents. It could be 100 pages long, right? This will save a lot of time. So let's get right into it. First off, I'm going to show you guys what I use, which is Replit. So we're going to share my screen. This is my first time using the software, so bear with me. Now, hopefully, at this point, you can see my screen over here. I wonder. Aha. Add to stage. Aha. There we go. I think that did it. Should do it. Yeah, that shows me. Oh, what are we doing? Hold on a second. Yeah, that seems good. Or maybe, can I make this bigger? Sorry, I'm trying to figure this out. I've never done this before. Ah, beautiful. That's a good way to do it. All right, let's go right into it. All right, so I use Replit. So let's head to Replit. Replit is, it's like a $10 billion company that does vibe coding. So vibe coding is basically the ability to build custom software with AI. Personally, I feel like that's the most valuable form of AI right now, because software at the end of the day is tech that allows us to do things on a computer, run robots, do all the stuff that's on our phones or computers everywhere. So the most valuable version of AI, in my opinion, is being able to basically build any tech you want without having any tech expertise. And so that's what we're going to do in this video. Let's get right to it. So today we are going to build a data entry app. So let's just tell Replit what we want to do. And so what I typically do is I like to give basically a brief context and overview of the project so it understands what we're getting into. And then after I explain that first paragraph, the next paragraph is usually kind of the step-by-step what we want to do and how we want to do it. So today we want to build a data entry, an automated data entry system where the user can take a picture of a document, and the document and the information from the document will be automatically uploaded into a specific place. That's all we're doing, right? Specifically for this program, we want to be able to upload so this is just the example that I came up with, an independent contractor agreement where the important information is written out via handwriting, right? Is handwritten, and then the system is set up such that all the user has to do is upload a PDF or image of the page or pages of the document, and then all of the important information is pulled out and put into an Excel file. Now there's one caveat to this, right? So I know we can easily do this on the internet where we can pull this information out and put it into like a Google Doc, for example, because that's on the internet and this whole thing lives on the internet. Now, what I don't know is, can we do that and then automatically drop it into an Excel on our desktop? We'll find out. This might all have to live in the cloud, but I figure that's a fun little added piece that we can throw in and see if we can automate at the end as well. Now, we might have to do this directly to a Google Sheet or something like that. But if we can, it would be ideal if we could get it to directly export/import the data into an Excel on the user's desktop. So that's it. We want to build an automated data entry system where the user could take a picture of a document and the information from the document will be automatically uploaded into a specific place. For this program, we want to be able to upload an independent contractor agreement. In fact, I'm just going to get rid of specifically, not that it matters. For this program, we want to be able to upload an independent contractor agreement where the important information is handwritten, and then the system is set up such that all the user has to do is upload a PDF or image of the page or pages of the document, and then all the important information is pulled out and put into an Excel file. Now, we might have to do this directly to a Google Sheet or something like that, but if we can, it would be ideal if we could get it to directly export or import the data into an Excel on the user's desktop. Now, you'll see here there's this little plan button. We're not going to worry about that today, but basically, if you've got a large, complex project, like if I've got a multi-month project that I'm working on right now, those you want to kind of plan and map out. But when it comes to simple things like this, you don't really need to plan it. You can just go right into build mode and dive in. So we're going to click start, and this could take anywhere from a minute or two up to like 10 minutes. I'm guessing for the software, it's probably only going to take a minute or two. So while it's working on this, let's just talk about kind of how the AI does this. What Replit system does is it can basically understand you or me and our goals and what we want to do, and it can map it into software. And you actually don't need to have any software expertise whatsoever. Now, it's true that once you understand how to use these AIs, you can do it 10 or 100 times as fast as someone who doesn't know. But the reality is, even if you've never, ever used AI software at all, you should be able to create a custom piece of software that does bookkeeping or a CRM or any sort of thing in your business with no experience whatsoever. You just might have to sit down for 10 or 20 hours. But if you really know what you're doing, you can get this stuff done, bust it out in an hour. And in this video, that's our intention. Hopefully within 15 to 30 minutes, we've completely automated your data entry for your company, and you'll have the step-by-step format how to do it. So let's go in and see what it said. So here's what I'll build for you: a web app where you can upload a photo or PDF of an independent contractor agreement, and the system will automatically read all the handwritten information, names, dates, addresses, amounts. See, it even came up with this. It knows what's going to come, even though I didn't tell it, and put it into an Excel file that you can download directly to your computer, right? So this is kind of what I expected. One thing that's important to understand about AI is AI lives on the internet. AI, you're right, these companies that are building AI are putting in tens and hundreds of billions of dollars, and it's on the internet. In order to have the system to be able to do that and put it on your computer is outside the scope of anything I know at this point. So we're going to be able to do this, and as long as your data lives on the internet, no problem. You'll obviously still be able to download it to your computer, but for this specific feature, we're going to have it all live on the internet. So the flow is going to be upload your document. AI is going to read and extract all the key information. You review it, and then you can download it. Or in our case, we're going to update it so it automatically goes to a Google Sheet, so it truly is automated. So now let me set up the AI integration, create the web app artifact. This is Replit's built-in AI integration. You know, the funny thing is, having done this for almost 100 hours now, I don't even read the majority of what it says in the side. AI is telling you what it's doing step by step by step. But at this point, I've learned to basically trust it. And the key thing when you're building with AI is whenever you build a feature, you immediately just want to test it. So I don't worry about the things it's doing, because It knows how to code, I don't. So it's going to talk in coding language, and I don't know coding language. So you or I probably won't be able to understand how it's doing what it's doing, but that doesn't really matter. All you need to know is how to talk to the AI, and then how to test it once it's built what you want to make sure it actually works. And then if it doesn't, say, hey, system, this doesn't work, and here's why, and it'll automatically fix it for you. So it's going through. It's going to integrate with OpenAI, it looks like. You can integrate with any AIs. You can tell it specifically what you want. Right? So CodeGen, who knows what that is? Doesn't really matter. It's basically just doing all the key stuff. We're probably about halfway done already, right? So I would guess within another 1 or 2 minutes, the system will basically be complete. And then I'll show you version 1.0 where actually while it's doing this, here's what we're going to do. If you can see this document, I've got an independent contractor agreement. This is just an example that I created. So this says, independent contractor agreement is entered into this date by between, company, contractor, and you can see all this information. And then on the back side, it's got a signature area. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to fill out this sheet while this thing is producing our app. So that way we can actually test it out and see how it does. So let's get right into it. We're going to say what is today's date? Today is March 3rd. So now here's what's fun. You could say 3/23/2026, or you could say March 3. It's really up to you. It will understand either way. In my case, I'm just going to call it 3/23. 3/23/2026. The contractor, I'll just make it myself, Christian Brown. Our business name, we'll call it Automated Data Entry Corp, because why not? The address, we'll just call it, 111 Main Street, Boise, Idaho. Phone number, let's give it something simple. Let's give it 404-555-1279. So that's the front page, you can see, right? I've just handwritten this. Now, on the back, we've got signatures. So we got the company. So here we go. There's the signature, and again, 3/23/2026. And the contractor, it's going to be funny because on the front, actually, we'll see what happens. No, let's be smart about this. We'll just call it 3/23/2026. All right. So we've got that put in. We've written out our agreements. And here we go. We're about to see our app. There we go. Automated data entry. Upload an independent contractor agreement. Our AI will instantly read handwritten fields and prepare an Excel export. Now, here's what's fun about this. This is just for one agreement. But what you could tell the system is, hey, I want to upload a whole bunch of different types of documents, and I want you to understand them and upload to different places. And you can literally just teach it one by one. So you could start with independent contractor agreement. Then you could say, hey, the next form of document that we want to upload is, a salesperson's paperwork when they close a deal. The next piece of paperwork we want to upload is, and just slowly teach it one after the other. And then you could create a system where it has individual upload links for each type of file. Or you could say, hey, I want a single upload button that allows me to upload any type of file, and it can pull out all the data and put it where I want automatically. And it will help you do that. And even if you don't know exactly where you want the data to go, you can build it, upload a piece of data, and then you can talk to the system and say, hey, the data didn't go where I wanted it to go. I wanted it over here, but I know I didn't specify that to you. And the system will go, oh, no problem. Let me ask you a couple questions to clarify. And it will look at the logs. It will actually see what you have done in the documents you have uploaded, and it will understand what it's done with that information. And it'll say, oh, what I did is I put it here because you never told me what to do. but it sounds like you want to hear. And it will basically ask you a series of questions, just like a person would who's building this for you, to help understand what you wanted, what your goals were, and then it will remap the system to specifically upload that document to the right place. So here we go. Doc data extractor.replit.app. Who can access it public? I mean, maybe you want to make it only you, right? I pretty much make the majority of my stuff public because I work with clients and I set up individual logins. But yeah, for the sake, I'll just make it public for now. So this thing, let's get this published. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to use, so I actually have a scanner, like a professional scanner right next to me, but I would bet that the average person does not. And so because of that, I'm going to use this great app. It's called Cam Scanner. It's totally free, and it allows you to scan documents into PDFs. So I'm on my phone, just find it on your regular app store. I'm going to use Cam Scanner. Now I'm going to use Cam Scanner to scan this. So I know I'm not exactly showing you how to do this, but I hope you understand how. I'm just going to assume you're smart enough to understand how to scan documents into Cam Scanner. It's literally just click. So anyway, let's do this. All right, I have scanned our document into Cam Scanner. I'm going to name our document IC Agreement Example. And for the sake of it, now what's cool is I could upload this doc to the internet, and I can use this piece of software on the internet. But the whole idea is doing this on your phone. I think that's just the fastest, most efficient, best way to do it. So I'm actually going to show you live how we do this on my phone. I don't actually know. I wonder if I can add my phone to this. That would be wild. Let me see here. I'm going to try something crazy. Let's see if I can actually show this live. I figure this is my first stream doing this, so nobody's really going to watch this anyway, probably. UEJF. All right. I'm just going to enter the studio. Oh man, this is going to work. This is going to be so cool. All right, here we go. So I've got my phone in here as well. Can we make this the big one? There we go. All right, so we've got our phone. You guys can see the phone. Can I share my screen in here? Oh, I can't share the screen. Shucks. No, never mind. Worth a shot. All right, we'll go back to what we had. So I'll just show it to you what it looks like on the computer then. But you can do the same thing on your phone. So as you can see here, we've got, this is public, although where's my, hold on, I gotta refresh the page. How come it hasn't given me the location? Oh, here it is. Contractor document scanner. doc-data.replit.app. Now you can open this on your phone. You could literally try it right now. If you're watching, I'll leave this live for a sec because why not? And we can drop a contractor agreement here. So similarly on your phone, if you had the file on your phone, you could literally just go to this web page. It would show this. In fact, I'll try to show it. I'll try to show it for the sake of it. Let's get right at it. All right, here we go. We're going to go to https://doc/data/extractor.replit.app. And see, it's the exact same thing with the button to upload. So you can do it on your phone just like you can do it on the computer. Now, what do we need to do? We need to browse the files. So in our case, I'm going to just email me this file really quick. So I've got it. And I can at least show this on the computer, live in action. Cool. Alrighty. We're going to download this. Now I wonder, pop this in here. All right, so here's the document I just downloaded. You can see it now, which is cool. So you can see here's the document, right? 3/23/2026. I literally just wrote all this stuff. I don't have the best handwriting, right? There's signature, all that stuff. So we've got our contractor agreement. We've got our system. Let's browse these files, and we're going to upload this doc, and let's see what happens. Oh, 400 invalid image. So let's go back to our system. We attempted to upload PDF and got let's do it one more time, a 400 invalid image URL error. So whenever I get an error, I always explicitly try to tell the system, what did we want to do instead, right? Now, you get errors a decent amount, but you also don't. Sometimes you just get no errors. So in this case, it's great we got to see an error because it's literally this easy to fix. You don't need to freak out. Don't need to go, oh no, my system doesn't work. What do I do? Just say, hey, we attempted to do this thing, upload the PDF, and we got this error. We want to be able to upload, directly upload a PDF directly rather than from a specific URL. So there we go, right? So OpenAI's Vision API doesn't work with PDF. So in this case, this says, hey, we need to convert this PDF to an image first. And that's the easiest way to do it. Now, if I was building this professionally for a client, I'd actually tweak it a little bit differently. This will work and you can do it yourself. But basically, whenever you're converting data from one type to another, you're going to cause some errors. It's like if you took a picture of a picture, it's going to be a little bit more blurry than the original picture, right? And so for me, the professional way to do this is to actually say, hey, I don't want to convert this PDF to an image. Let's find a different system that can automatically read a PDF perfectly. And the AI would say, no problem. The best one on the market is this right now. Let's go use this instead. Now, in our case, let's just use this in the simplest format possible. Let's let the AI do its thing, because the reality is you can just let the AI do its thing and you don't need to have any expertise like I do, and you can still build this software just for yourself every single time. So looks like it's just about done. Cool. Now, one really cool thing about building in Replit is, yes, you can publish for the world and give everybody access to it, your other people on your team or other people out in the world. But also, in our preview, this actually is a live version of it right here, and we don't have to deploy it, and we can use it, but it's just kind of hidden, and it's in like kind of the development environment. You don't really need to know what that means, but basically there's the development environment and there's the live environment. The live environment is if you're using it with other employees and other people in the rest of the world, and the development environment is basically your own custom little cocoon that you can play around with your software, and it will work just as well. The only problem with the development environment, of course, is that it wouldn't be live on your phone. So you'd have to, and all you have to do to put it into that development environment is literally click publish. Now, for the sake of saving time, we're just going to test it right in here. Let's upload our agreement. Let's see what happens. Should be done in a moment. You get the feeling it might error again. We'll see. This is taking a lot longer than I would expect it to. Normally this stuff's pretty spicy fast. All right, look at that. It even created a file for, look at this. Okay, here we go. Check this out. It pulled out all this information. The contractor names, Christian Brown. This is the name of the company. Email, phone number. There was no email. And it's funny, in the agreement, there is no email, right? But it was expecting it. So that's kind of fun. The address, effective date. So here's what's interesting. So it kind of got it right, kind of got it different. So the contractor, it thought was the main company, which wasn't right, but it got the phone number right. And the date it got right, it was commission-based. It literally has exactly how the commissions, initial commission, recurring commission, it literally pulled all this data out. Pretty incredible. On top of that, it had additional extracted fields, automated data entry corp, which is what we named the contractor's business. So it got this about 90% correct from the get-go. It just put the business name in the wrong place compared to the company name. So, well, actually, technically, it does say company name. But anyway, and then let's see what happens when we click Export to Excel. Now, if I open this up, so yeah, it basically has all the information. I know you can't see this, but it has all the information in the exact same, in basically just columns. Each one of these things in a bunch of different columns. Now, let's make this more like how we want it. So this is how I think it should be done. Let's go to my Gmail real quick. We're going to hop in here. We're going to go to Google Sheets. Let's create a new sheet. Now in this sheet, I've already created basically an example on my desktop of how I want this to look. So I'm going to bring this up right here. All right. So in here, these are this is the information that I want. I want it to say the salesperson, the company, if they have a company name for their company, phone, email, data set. Now, again, the system has no email, so this is always going to be blank, but that's what I originally intended. And let's just try it out, make sure that it actually gets that correct. So I'm going to tell it that right here, this is my PDF, this is my, here, and I'm going to name this data entry example. So that's going to be my sheet. Now I'm going to copy this sheet location, and I'm going to say, actually, I only want the system to export a small amount of data, and I want it to export directly to this Google Sheet here. So we've got our Google Sheet in. I want you to detect the column names and automatically input the information from the document in a new row and only the information pertaining to the column names. Okay, so what we want to do, because the whole point of this project was to automate this A to Z. So we want to have an online system where we've got all of our data and we can literally just upload it and all that data pumps in. We don't care about any of this stuff. Now it's cool and it's fancy, and if you want to use it, great. But the whole point of me producing this video is to show you how to completely automate a portion of data entry in your company. So I only want the system to export a small amount of data, right? And what I mean by that is these headers. Often I would tell it the specific headers because that'll help it. But in this case, I'm just going to say, I want you to detect the column names, figure it out on your own, and then automatically input the information from the document in a new row and only the information pertaining to the column names. Let's build it and see what happens. And now while it's working on that, again, I just want to point out, like, you don't have to know how to do this stuff. All you have to know is what you want it to do, and then you can just tell it, and it'll do it. It's pretty amazing. So, right, like it, and now it's understanding, oh, instead of downloading X file, you want the extract data to go directly into Google Sheet. That makes sense. Okay, he needs to connect our Google account so he can write to our spreadsheet. Let's do it. Let's connect our Google account. app is blocked. Interesting. All right. So what can we do? Well, that's interesting. Let me refresh. When attempting to connect, yeah, it looks like it was, let's see. Okay, so Google and okay, so you'll see here that I basically, it gave me this window that popped up that asked me to put in basically Google credentials, and then Google denied it. It literally popped up a thing and said, this app is blocked. This app tried to access sensitive info in your Google account. To keep your account safe, Google blocked this access. Now, for me, rather than just doing exactly what the AI said, I'm going to say, hey, should we fix this or do what you just suggested? So I always want to tell it when errors occur so that it can understand why, why it wasn't able to get in. Okay, so this says, hey, it's not something we can fix on our end, right? AI will attempt something just like a person will. If it doesn't work, it'll go, okay, let's find another solution. So what we need to do is do all this. So we're going to go to Google Cloud Console. We're going to get in here. This says step 2, create a project or use an existing one. Where do we create a project? It's a great question. I'm going to just type in create project at the top. Create a project, right? Just use the search bar, project name. We're going to call it data entry example. Organization, yep, great. Cool, so we've created the project. Then we need to enable the Google Sheets API. Search for an APIs and service. So APIs and services. And click enable APIs. Enable APIs and services right here. Boom, enable APIs. Then we need to go to I am an admin. So again, there's a search button. Finding stuff in Google is like impossible. So we're going to go I am an admin. Let's see, it didn't show up. We're going to, what about service account? Oh, here we go. We're just going to walk through this step by step. Service accounts, create a service account. Let's see here, service accounts. Service accounts, here it is on the side. Cool. Let's create a service account. Data entry example service account. We're going to create the service account. Then we need to go to keys. Let's see. So first we create a service account. Let's start the roll. Do we need to do this? This says optional. Thank goodness. All right, let's not worry about that. So click on the service account, go to keys tab, add keys. So we've got the service account. So let's go back. Probably click on manage keys. And then we're going to add a key, create a new key. It says we want to create a JSON key. So we're going to create a JSON key. Organization policy that blocks service account key creation has been enforced in your organization. So let's see here. Okay, so I know how to fix this, but we're just gonna walk through it because I want you guys to see step by step how we can do this so that it's not going to cause a problem. So all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to tell it the error. I have done steps 1 through 4, but on step 5, I encountered this error. Tell me how to change organizational policy. Create service keys. Right? So I've done steps 1 through 4, but on step 5, I encountered this error. An organizational policy that blocks service account key creation has been enforced on your organization. Please tell me how to change my organizational policy so I can create service keys. Literally, we found a problem. What do? We don't freak out. We don't worry. We just say, hey, I found this error. Help me. And it's going to tell us what to do. So we're just going to do it. Hold on. So, this is interesting. Now, fun fact. Now it's telling me a different approach. So we're going to take the approach that it's saying because I want this to be the easiest tutorial in the world. Now, if you have access to your own Google admin account, like you control your domain, this is a really simple and easy fix. And that's what I would have done. I would have said, hey, let me just change it. But in this case, again, I want this to be the easiest way to show you how to automate data entry. So let's just go. So let's go into our project, go to APIs and services and credentials. All right. Let's call it data entry example. Let's go back to our project. Found it. Go to APIs and services credentials. APIs and services. Credentials. Then copy the API, click create credentials and API key. So create credentials, API key. We'll just call it data entry example, API key. And we're going to create. Here's our API key. Now, obviously, I'm going to need to delete this ASAP because you're all going to see this, but we'll keep using it for the example at least. So here's the API key. Then we want to set our Google Sheet sharing to anyone with the link editor. So we're going to go in here and we are going to click share. And we're going to say anyone with the link can edit it. Done. All right, let's head back here. All right, I think we're almost there. We've gone through all the craziness. Now, while it's thinking again, I just want to re-point this out. This might seem challenging. This might seem complex. Might seem like there's a lot of different steps to take. And there are a lot of steps, but it's not hard. It's not hard. You can do it. Anyone can do it. A fifth grader can do it. All you have to do is tell the system what you want. And when you have problems, tell the problems you had, and it will fix them for you. You just got to trust it, and you just got to do it. I literally have been doing exactly what this has been telling me, step by step. I haven't been doing any of the professional things that I know. I've literally just been doing exactly what it tells me. So here we go. Once the API key, we'll put this back in again. Can't I click on this? There we go. All right, I think it's about to be done. Let's just look at our page again. All right, our page is still nice and empty. But yeah, I mean, this is it. It's simple, easy, a little bit tedious, but I mean, think about this. I expect this video is going to be less than an hour long. I will have literally shown you how to basically automate some core function in your business. Now, let's say you've got 20 different types of files that you put in your company at any given time. So I work with a lot of construction and trucking companies, right? You've got your gravel pit invoices. You've got like maybe 20 different types of inputs, for example. It's like, well, imagine if you could just put, let's call it 20 hours into doing this, an hour for each one. Although once you've done one, all the rest are going to take a tenth the time, because once you have the core system set up, it just rinse and repeat. Just say, hey, I want to upload this new type, and like it'll be super fast. But even if it took 20 hours, how much time do you think you're spending on these data entry things per week, per month right now? You might have an entire employee that costs you $30,000 a year just doing data entry. And with this, you could spend a half of 1 week building the automations with AI to do this data entry. And then all of a sudden, you just saved $30,000 a year. Now you can have one person who once a day for 5-10 minutes goes click, 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 upload, and it's done. How cool is that? All right, almost got it. Well, while we're waiting, I'll just tell you guys a little bit about myself. My name is Christian Brown. I'm the owner of Radiant AI. We actually tested this model to see if we could vibe code for businesses in November of last year, and absolutely knocked it out of the park. Couldn't believe it. We charged next to nothing because I didn't want to gouge people and then be wrong. And it turns out we can basically custom code anything anybody wants extraordinarily quickly, extraordinarily cheaply. And in February of this year, we went hard, and we grew from 2 clients to 19 clients in a month. And the average client expected it to take 1 to 3 months for us to produce a prototype. And for about 90% of clients, we produced a prototype and a finished product within the first 1 to 2 weeks. So it's just like, this stuff is like magic. I mean, you can literally just come in here and you can basically build any sort of software you've ever wanted, any kind of software you want to dream up. And so that's what we're doing for people. It's really cool. It's really fun. We've built multiple data entry systems. We're building an automatic quantity takeoff system for a construction company. We built a sales tracking and analytics system for a big sales team. It allows them to project all their costs and commissions and all these different things. For one construction company, we built a voice data entry system. For a pastry shop, we created a AI phone ordering system, so that when people call into the pastry shop, it can literally have a conversation with the customer and look at the items on their menu and what's in stock and what's not in stock, tell them what's available, tell them the prices, take the order, take the credit card, everything. So yeah, we've just built a lot of really fun, really cool things. And every single one of them, when the client came on board, I basically said, hey, I don't know if we can do this, but I think we can. And so far, we've been able to do it for 100% of the projects that we've done. So it's really kind of mind-blowing, this AI stuff. Once you get into it, you can actually build anything. You just have to dip your toes in and be willing to basically try. Now, it can be painful sometimes, and sometimes it's not. I mean, one of my first projects, I spent 8 hours working on it, and I built it the wrong way with AI because I didn't know any better. And then I scrapped the whole project, and I said, I'm going to start fresh. And in an hour, I built the whole thing A to Z, and it worked perfectly. So it was a 9-hour project, 8 hours of doing the wrong thing, and then an hour of doing the right thing. But they say that if you put 20 hours into something, you'll be in the top 10% in anything in the world. And with AI, it's the same sort of thing. You put in your first 10 or 20 hours, it's going to be a little bit challenging, going to be a little bit hard. Things won't exactly do what you want. And then very quickly learn, there's just like some really obvious things that once make coding and AI use much more valuable, much faster, much better for you. And that's definitely true when it comes to vibe coding. So let's see here. This says I gotta enable the Google Sheets API. Let's do that. Enable. Cool. Google Sheets API is enabled. Set the sheet sharing to anyone with the link editor. I already did that. That should be good. Cool. I did those. Oops. I accidentally clicked cancel. I did this. All right. Cool. Yeah, it had just told me to do that on the side, so I just did what it said. Oh, still disabled. Let's see here. Google Sheets API. Oh. Do I need to create credentials? I don't think so. But I'll create them anyway. We'll just create some credentials. Let's see here. Do I need to create the credentials? So no, it should be fine. Try it again then, because it is enabled. Let's see here. It's working. Okay, cool. It just had to wait like 5 seconds. There we go. So look at this. I need to add aliases for your specific called names. Salesperson maps to contractor name. Company, if different than name, maps to company name. And date of signing maps to signature date. Nah, see, look. So normally, you always want to assume that you need to tell the AI like step by step, just like a person who's dumb, right? This means this. But often it's kind of mind blowing. AI can figure it out on its own. And so, I'm trying to show you the easiest way to do this possible, but you can see it literally figured out the salesperson name is the same as contractor name without me telling it. Pretty cool. All right. Almost there. Let's get to it. Open your Google Sheet. Oh, hey, hold on. So there's one more thing. 2 minutes is done. We got to open our Google Sheet, go to extensions, app scripts. Okay. So let's head in here. Extensions, app scripts. Then delete any code that's there and paste this. How fun. So here's a little copied clipboard button. We're going to go in here. We're going to delete everything. We're going to copy and paste that. Okay. Do I need to click deploy? I don't know. It'll probably tell me. Click deploy, new deployment. All right. Deploy, new deployment. Then this is going to say click the gear next to select type and choose web app. We're going to do web app. Set execute as to me. We're just going to call this data entry. We're going to give everything the same name always. Execute is me. Done. Who has access to anyone? We'll just call it anyone. Click deploy. Copy the web app URL it gives you and paste it here. Sure, we're going to authorize access. We've got our URL. We'll copy this in. We'll paste it just like it asked for. It's testing the full flow. It's literally on the final step. But of course, it found another error. How fun. The realities of working with AI. It doesn't do exactly what you want from the get-go, but it always gets there in the end. And that's what's fun. It's kind of incredible. All right, go back to my apps extension, click deploy, manage deployments. We're going to data example. So it wants me to go to my apps scripts. So extensions, app scripts. While we're in here, manage deployments. Click who has access. All right. For once, I'm lost for a second. All right, go back to your apps, scripts, extensions. Oh, that's right. So I went in here, went to extensions, app scripts. Cool, this pops back up. Then click deploy, manage deployments, deploy, manage deployments. Then click the pencil edit in that thing. All right, here's the pencil. Make sure who has access is set to anyone. That's the way it is. I'll do a new deployment instead. All right. New deployment. We'll just call this deployment 2. Sometimes it's, like it said sometimes it doesn't work right. I'm going to say it asks me to authorize access, which I do, but with an email. RadiantAIsoftware.com. All right, so you can follow along. It's been telling me what to do step by step, but you noticed in here as I did this, every time it asked me to authorize access, but it never told me to do that, right? Like the AI didn't. So because of that, and I know we've got a problem, and that's a thing that it's not telling me about, but you have to do to continue. I'm just telling it, hey, it asks me to authorize access, which I do with my current email. Does that have something to do with the problem? I figured I would let it know because maybe it goes, oh, only this thing. Yeah, that's likely the issue. Exactly. All right, so we're going to try this again. Deploy, manage deployments. We're just going to do the regular deployment. Well, we're just going to try a couple different things. So first things first, we're going to try the new link. So that should do it because it's telling me that. Let's see how it does. It works. Look at this. All right. All 5 columns match and the data was sent to your Google Sheet. Check your sheet. So let's go to the sheet. Quick test. John test. Hey, so the system now knows how to send data here. Pretty cool. This just showed up automatically. So now we're basically at the finish line. Here we go. This is great. So now it's literally, so this is pretty cool. This is actually testing it live. So it takes the system, and once it thinks it's working, it actually goes through just like a person does. It goes to the website, it walks through this, it does it step by step, and it tries to see if it actually works. Now that didn't show much, but usually it does. And it's pretty fun to watch it because it acts just like a human. It moves the mouse around, it types stuff in, and it figures stuff out. All tests passed. And we're almost done here. One other thing that I'll probably do right at the end of this is just show you guys kind of what it costs too. This whole project probably costs somewhere between, I don't know, I guess $10 to $15 maybe in Replit credits. But we'll see. That's been a good hour. Could be less, could be more. Actually, I just realized they don't update for about an hour. But what I will say is you can expect this cost about $10 to $15 in AI credits, plus or minus like 5. Like it could be anywhere from 5 to 20, but I'm guessing it's like 12. So I found some small. So here's what's even cooler, right? Is the biggest problem when building software as a regular developer is that you often find errors in your code, and it causes things to crash. And you could have a developer who works 20 hours on a project, and then they get an error, and they spend another 40 hours trying to fix that one error because they can't figure out what it is. What's awesome about this is you can see here the review found a few issues. This system it not only does it build software, but it also makes errors just like humans do. But it can catch those errors just like humans do and can fix as well. So this says it's done. A to Z, it's done. So here we go. We've got 3 tests that it did. Now let's test it for real. Let's put in our PDF. So this is the PDF I just uploaded, the one from before. And let's see how it does. It's reading and extracting the handwritten fields. It says it takes 10 to 20 seconds, but we know that's totally BS. It takes like 30 or 40. And it should be done. So that is how you use AI to build data entry. Well, I'm crossing my fingers, but I think this is it. I'm hoping there's no more errors, but I'm pretty sure it's A to Z done right now. And so the only step after this, there is no real other important step, is just click publish. You click this button, republish, then it becomes live on the internet. You can make it private to you or other people pretty easily. Again, you can just ask the AI how to do that. But the preview works the exact same. It's just not live on the internet. And we don't need to take the extra couple minutes to make it live because it works the exact same way in here as it would if we published it. The only difference is the whole world can't see it in here. Now, what's interesting too is how long this is taking. one thing I often do is when stuff is slow is I will literally send a message to the AI that says, this is slow, why? And it will often say, oh, it's because we're doing it this way. We can do it a totally different way that's faster. And then you can make these things upload way faster. But there we go. Let's see what we got. Nothing. All right, didn't work. I attempted to upload. Oh, now I have to click send to Google Sheets. All right, hold on. Click send to Google Sheets. All right, so we're almost there. Pretty cool. So it pulled out the information, then it put it in here. Now, it understood incorrectly the company name. So what I'm going to say is a couple changes we want. Number one, in the area, let's see. So if we look at this thing in the area, if we look at our document, it says business name. Well, you probably can't see this, but in the document, it says business. Well, here. Business name, if not sole prop. That's automated data entry corp. So I'm going to tell it where it says in the doc, where it says business name, if not sole prop. Business name, if not sole prop. We want that info to show up as the company name in the sheet. So that's the first thing. That's the business name we want in there, not the other business name. Number two, we don't want to have a button to send to Google Sheets, but instead just have it automatically do it. And then actually three, we don't need a summary page, right? We don't even need the summary page. We don't need a summary page with everything. Instead, when done, just, show us something, page that shows it's done. Cool. So let's finish this up. A couple changes in the doc where it says business name if not sole prop. We want that to show up as the company name. So it was understanding it a little bit incorrectly. It was getting a company name, but putting it in the wrong area. We want to know, obviously, the contractor's company name. So we're going to specify that, right? This is kind of the final steps. We're 90, 95% done. Now it's like, okay, you pulled out all the info, but you thought this one here and this one here. It's, let's tell you the right things. So it's guessing, just like a person would guess, but now we can give it clear instructions. It will learn the instructions and do them every time. So the second thing is we need to auto send to Google Sheets. We don't want to have to upload and then click another button. That just doesn't make sense. That's an extra step for no reason. So we're getting rid of that. And then the third thing is we don't need this whole extra page, right? Well, the page just disappeared, but we had this page where it was pulling all the information and telling us all the great stuff, which is cool. But for this specific project, we don't need it. So I'm, and AI will often add things that it thinks you want because, that looks good, that feels good. And often you'll find you'll actually use those things. But for me, when it adds extraneous stuff that's pointless, I just say, hey, get rid of it. Let's not worry about it. Let's make this clean, simple. All we want is a system where all we do is one thing. We upload a file, and then it sends all the data out. Because that's the dream system here, right? If you can take any sort of file that you need for data entry in your company, and you can just picture, or have it in an email and it reads the email, or tell it to your phone and it just instantly puts all the information where you want, that's the dream. That's the full-blown automation. Now you need no employees for this type of stuff, and it's saving you a bunch of time, a bunch of money. And so we're about 99% of the way to the finish line, and I can't wait to do this final test in just a moment. Cool. Looks like it's all done. Good to go. All right, so back to our example. We've got our 4 tests so far, including our most recent one, which did it, but did it a little bit wrong. Let's try it again. Hopefully this is the final one. Step 1, look at this. Now it looks a little nice. It says, hey, step 1's extracting, step 2 is sending to sheets. So it's extracting. As we know, with this system, it's taken about a full minute. But that's the other thing too, right? It's if you got 20 docs and they're each, 10 pages long, it's true. The system, it might take an hour or 2 to upload everything. So there is that time involved. But what's great is there's ways to make it where still it's just like you upload. Once the upload's there, it's done, right? And if you've got really fast upload speed somewhere, then once it's uploaded into the system, cool. You don't got to worry about everything else. Because the upload probably takes seconds, but then the extracting data takes a lot. So what I might say is if you're going to upload a whole lot of stuff at once, is I might say to the system, hey, I want to build the system. I would tell it this right now. Hey, I want to build a system where I can upload a whole bunch of docs at once, 10, 20, 30 docs that might be hundreds of megabytes or gigabytes. And I want the system to first upload them. And then once it's done uploading, I should be allowed to jump off the page and it'll just take care of everything else in the background while I don't have to wait. But it lets me know once the upload's done so that then I can pop off the page. And it'll go, no problem. You can build that and it'll take the 5 minutes to upload gigs of data or whatever. And then once they're all uploaded, it'll say you can now leave the page. Boom. And it'll take the hours of extraction data entry in the background where you still have to wait for the data to get uploaded, but that's 1% of the time. So here we go. IC agreement example, data export to Google Sheets, 4 of 5 columns matched. What do you know? One's missing. Let's see. Oh, almost. So it's still got the wrong company name. And of course, there was no email. So now we're going to go back to the system. Still got the company name wrong. There is the name of the company. And there is the name of the contractor's company. You keep extracting. The main company name is the name of the contractor's company. I say this because in the Google Sheet, we are looking to upload the contractor's, which comes from the input to the handwritten input directly to the right of business name, if not sole prop. All right, so AI, right? It's not perfect. Still got the company name wrong. There's the name of the company and there's the name of the contractor's company. You keep extracting the main company name as the name for the contractor's company. I say this because the Google Sheets we're looking to upload, the contractor's company name, which comes from the handwritten input directly to the right of business name, is not sole prop. In earlier examples, you were pulling this data out, but calling it something like additional company. Because I noticed that earlier. It was pulling out and it was calling it like additional company at the end. So, yeah. So anyway, one final tweak. Got to get it done. If it's not right, it's not right. Yes, there we go. Here we go. I understand the issue. The document has a pre-printed company name, the hiring company, and a handwritten business name field for the contractor's own company. The AI is extracting the main company name and putting it in the company name, when what you actually want in the Google Sheet is the contractor's handwritten business name. Exactly, right? So it's just misinterpreting things, which makes sense, right? Because this says company, and in this, right, it says business name, whereas this says company. So it makes sense that there's a description because it wants company to match company, right? And so really, this is just me giving a poor naming convention to my system. Probably if I named this business name, in fact, if I had probably named it business name, just business name, I can almost guarantee it would have gotten it right the first time, because it would have been like business name is business name, company is company, right? So I'm basically making the system intentionally confusing for it. As you saw, a test just came in, but the bottom line is we want it to work the way we want it to work, and this is how we told it to work. So, all right, here we go. We got one more test. We got Mike Smith just came in here. Another test. Let's try this again. Let's go. We're going to get this working in this single video. By the end of this video, we will have an automated data entry system, and you will have seen the step-by-step how to do it. Hopefully this video is not getting too long. I'm guessing we're getting up to maybe an hour and a half now or something. So I apologize. It took longer than expected, but that is just the nature of business. But if you can do this for one aspect of your company, you can do it for all aspects of your company. Yeah, there we go. It extracted the data, it's sending to sheets. Look at how much fast that one was. Boom, there we go. The name, Christian Brown. The company, Automated Data Corp. Automated Data Entry Corp. Yeah, okay, cool. The number 404-555-1279. 404-555-1279. And finally, there was no email. And then the data side in 3/23/26. Look at that. It did it. A to Z. There we go. We've got a data entry system completed. How do I get back to my system? Here we are. That's it. So hopefully that was valuable. How far are we in? An hour and 12 minutes. So that's it. In an hour and 12 minutes, you just learned how to do automated data entry for your company. And yeah, that's it. My name is Christian Brown. My company is Radiant AI. We build these things for people. And I'm going to try to put out a bunch more content, basically teaching you guys A to Z how we do this for our clients, how we do this for our customers. So you can follow along and do it yourself. Or if you'd like help doing it, feel free to reach out. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.